Hello, I'm Cloyd Case. And yesterday, when I watched the news, our vice president said he's all for and will welcome equal rights to same-sex marriages. Now, I got to speak out against it. That is totally ridiculous. It says in the Bible that they should go forth and take a mate and populate, reproduce. People of the same sex cannot do that. But nowhere in the Bible does it say anything about same-sex marriages. It calls it a sin. Man on man, woman on woman is sin. This is a matter for the church and not the politicians. This has no business being in man's government. This is a church issue, and church issue only. I've written quite a few letters. I even wrote the Indiana Attorney General's office about these sex change surgeries. They prosecuted Mr. Kevorkian, Dr. Kevorkian, for assisting people to commit suicide that was terminally ill, and called him a monster, a Frankenstein, trying to act like God. And yet here everybody lets these here doctors go out and change the sex of man and woman. They're born a man and a woman. That's what they're going to be when they die, no matter what they do to their bodies in between. In no way can a woman get a woman pregnant. In no way can a man get a man pregnant. Even if you do have your body mutilated and changed into one to the other. No way. This is another thing. It's a church matter and not a man's law matter. It's a church. It belongs into church issues. Same-sex marriages and sex change surgeries. And when they're going out here, these here gay people go out and want equal rights, and they're fighting and for all this stuff, the same as a married couple, man and woman has. All they're doing is wanting approval of their sin. And when you vote legislation and everything and give them the same equal rights, you're saying it's okay to continue sinning. That's what you're doing. You're telling them it's all right to live that way, and it's not. God destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. Anybody who believes in the Bible already knows that. If he destroyed two cities because of what's happening now in this world, he might just destroy the whole world. If you believe in God, this may happen. It's high time that everybody comes out and that goes to church every Sunday has got to start talking about it in their churches and get their ministers and everybody else to come out against this stuff. Gay marriages have no right in our society. No place on the world. Nobody's society. When our fathers wrote the Constitution, they didn't say anything about gay marriages. It's a freedom of religion, freedom of rights. But that didn't open the door for what you're doing. No, it did not. It is a total sin against all God's rules and regulations. And you shouldn't have approval from the non-believers for the believers. There's only one path to go, and that's to follow the Word of God. That's the reason why this country was formed years ago, for that privilege and right to follow the Word of God. Like way back when a king over in England, he was gay. He rewrote the Bible, took out all reference to Sodom and Gomorrah, took out all reference to gaiety. Well, his queen, his mother, the queen, had him killed for that reason. But his book stayed. There's still a reason that book. That book is wrong. You can't take and rewrite what God put down. And this king did. Only because he was gay. Yeah. You just don't do things like that. So when the vice president comes out and says he's all for it, here's a man that could take over and be president of the country if anything happens to the current president. And he says he's all for gay marriage. That is ridiculous. No way. No way is that right. And he should be pulled out and pulled aside by Billy Graham or somebody. Some religious person that holds influence in this country or in the world. And they should read the Bible to them. Something like this should not happen. It's high time everybody else in this world, all the churchgoers and the believers, should step up and start voicing their opinions instead of laying back off. It'll disappear. No, it will not disappear unless somebody gets out there and voices a louder opinion. And this is what everybody's got to do. Get out there and say what you think is right. There's no place in this world, in God's kingdom, for what these here gay people want to do. And it's a terrible shame that we're not prosecuting these here doctors for doing what they're doing. What Dr. Kevorkian was doing was totally different from what these doctors are doing. Excuse me. So let's just take a moment and think about it. Don't let these politicians do what they're doing. They're taking away all kinds of freedoms from us. Don't let them push something on that is a total sin. If we let them do this, who knows what they're going to be doing next. There's already, here in Indiana and a couple other states, they've taken away the right for bargaining for employees. That's wrong. Freedom of choice, they're taking away. Slowly but surely, they're taking freedom of choice away from you. Just like with Mr. Obama's health care. He's threatening you. If you don't buy insurance, you're going to get fined and you're going to go to jail. Well, fine, let him put them all. Let everybody in jail. You'll get health care then. You go to prison, he puts everybody in prison. He's got to pay for it then. Nothing comes out of your pocket. It's illegal for them to do that. They can't mandate such laws. It's against the Constitution. It says anything in the Constitution says that Congress cannot legislate and enact anything that's going to put a direct burden on the citizen. And this, in fact, this here insurance bill does. It puts a burden on you. And by them cutting the taxes for the real rich, the elite rich, and putting it on the middle class here, the lower income people, that's putting a direct burden on you. And they're legislating this stuff like this all the time. And it is wrong. They're taking your rights away from you. So this one issue is just the beginning. But you gotta speak out against this gay rights junk. It's a sin, and it can't be allowed. No way. Like I said, think about it. Read the Bible if you haven't read the Bible. Believe in God and have faith and hope for the better. Thank you.